Hello people, so today I'm going to make a very healthy, protein-rich and vegetable-rich stew, but it's kind of a casserole and stew and stir-fry. And again, I'm not quite sure how to film what I'm doing here besides putting my mobile phone in my little herb rack, which doesn't, yes. But anyway, I'm now going to attempt to bring the laptop, the stool and the crate on which the laptop's resting over here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, yes, this is possible. First of all, I've got my protein, which is a bit of chorizo for some flavour. I've got chickpeas and kidney beans. I've got essentials like garlic and onion to give some flavour, and then the vegetables are just what I happen to have in the fridge, so there's really not that much thought gone into this recipe, which is kind of good in a way because I like things. I never really understand how there are lots of recipes in books and online and you have to have exact things to follow them, and that's all well and good, but after you've done the recipe usually there's things left over. So 80% of the time I reckon people's cupboards and fridges are full of odds and ends, and I'm actually quite good at making tasty things with odds and ends. So I think it's good to have a recipe which utilises odds and ends, and this is a winter odds and ends recipe. So the veg I happen to have at the moment are 3 peppers. One is going a bit soft, so 3 and a bit peppers. I've got 2 courgettes and some carrots. Now for flavour, I'm just going to add things as I go along, but I'm definitely going to put in some chili flakes, which I've recently discovered and are wonderful. And herb-wise, as you can see, the only herbs I've got at the moment are parsley, because all the basil's gone. So I've got a good amount of parsley. I'm going to use it all actually because it's winter time. I have my little oil fire radiator, which is there with the blanket. Can you see? And it's the only form of heating I've got in this room, but the problem is, because I live in one room, my plants really suffer. I've got my ivy in the bathroom, which doesn't give him much light, and my herbs also suffer, so I'm going to have to use all of this today, but that's good because I haven't got any green leafy things in my stew / casserole / stir fry, and this parsley is possibly the best herb health wise, and it's going to give me some green leafy roughage in there. So without further ado, I'm going to get on, wash my veg, heat my pan, sweat the garlic and onions, and I'll report back later. I've chopped all my vegetables. We've got the onions, the garlic, I've chopped up the chorizo as well, I've put my kidney beans and chickpeas in bowls, and my peppers, courgettes, carrots, and to put them in a saucepan with about ½ an inch of boiling water in the bottom, because I just want to soften them, not really boil them, and I'm hoping to keep that juice when I put them in, when I incorporate them in the recipe later. I've got it on maximum and I'm going to put a lid on. I might have to put a bit more water in there, I'll see in a minute. And I'm going to leave those. The veg will take about 15 or 20 minutes, I think, to soften. So I'm going to come back to you then. Okay, so I have warmed my chorizo and chickpeas and pulses. And I wish you could smell this right now because it's got that lovely smoky Spanishy smell from the chorizo. And I'm going to now pop in my chili flakes for the last couple of minutes. But not too many because the chorizo is spicy as well. And I don't think we actually need salt because of the chorizo, but otherwise I would suggest putting a bit of salt in. And I'm also going to put a tiny bit of ground turmeric in. And a little bit of paprika, which gives it a lovely savouriness that's more subtle than salt. And if I need to later, I'm going to maybe put a tiny bit of pesto and some soy sauce. These are little soy sauces that I got from sushi boxes. So I'm just going to stir this in, get it sizzling again, and then combine it with the vegetables. Okay, so my chorizo and pulses are well and truly cooked, and all the lovely spices and herbs and chili flakes are absorbed. I'm now going to add this to my vegetables. And just a word about the vegetables. I added the parsley last of all, so it's just sweated down really and not semi-boiled like the rest of them. Now I add the pulses, and there should be a bit more veg to the pulse and sausage mixture, but of course really the proportions are just up to you. So combine it all together and then have a good taste to see what it needs. Does need some salt. There's probably more chili flavour than salty flavour at the moment, so a good old handful of coarse sea salt. Now that is very nice. But I think I am going to add a bit of pesto to give it that lovely basil-y flavour, which can just be stirred in at the last moment. Oh, over the side it goes. So you can see it's kind of a very, very, very thick, well, it's not a soup. Is it a stew? It's kind of a stew, but there isn't much liquid, which is how I like things. I mean how I like stews. Try again. I think it needs just a tiny, because there's just such a lot of veg, I'm going to put some soy sauce in. Probably use about a third of this second bottle and stir this in. And then just let it simmer for about 1 or 2 final minutes. Because it's so filling, I'm going to use small bowls. And because I'm going to eat bread with this. Fantastic. So here is my little winter meal. My sausage, pulse and vegetable stew topped with parsley. I've got some nice crusty bread, garlic and herb rolls, some cheddar cheese, some nice red wine. I lit a candle to make things cosy. There remains nothing else to do but sit down, relax and enjoy it with someone. Cheers.